What's up, everyone? We're going to be going through the best WNBA player props on PrizePicks today. Now, I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks. Even though we didn't have WNBA, we had other great picks from our exclusive Discord group, and we still actually got 22 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now, a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We only got 2 picks wrong and got 22 right, which is a 93% win rate. Yes, guys, you heard that right. 93% win rate. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get a 93% win rate and get 22 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, which should be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $3,200 just yesterday. Another member who won $740 for the 6th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. And quick shout out to Cringe Gamers 2180 who said let's get some bread. So shouts out to him, and if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you could be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're talking about is none other than Azora Stevens, and this one is for 7.5 rebounds, and this one is for less. Now, looking at Azora Stevens, we've actually seen her go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those last 5 games, we do see that she has not only gone on the under in 3 out of the last 5, but on June 22nd, faced off against Minnesota, had 9 rebounds there. Then June 25th, faced off against Chicago, had 7 rebounds. Then June 27th, faced off against Indiana and had 8 rebounds. Then 6 rebounds against Chicago on June 30th. And then July 4th, against New York Liberty, had 7 rebounds there. So we definitely have seen Azora Stevens go on the under in 3 out of the last 5, but her average over the last 5 has also been 7.4, so slightly below this line. Now, as we all know, Los Angeles Sparks do have themselves a very interesting matchup because Los Angeles Sparks face off against Indiana Fever. Now, it's definitely going to be an exciting game. Looking at both of these teams, we do know that, Los Angeles Sparks haven't really had the greatest start to the regular season, but they do currently rank 12th in the actual WNBA, but also rank last in the Western Conference, so it's definitely been a little bit of a struggle there. Now, on top of that, we also do see that Indiana Fever, their matchup, they do actually rank 7th in the WNBA. Now, when we look at both these teams more in depth, we do know Sparks have a record of 5-13, so 5 wins, 13 losses, a 27.8% win percentage there. On top of that, they also have gone 1-7 from home and 4-6 from away games, and they are currently on a 2-game losing streak. So 2-game losing streak they currently have been on, so it's definitely been a bit of a tough one for them. But coming into this next matchup, Indiana Fever on the other side, Indiana do have a record of 9 wins and 8 losses. It's definitely been a little bit better for them, I guess I would say record-wise. They also have a record of 5-4 from home and 4-4 from away games, so they've definitely done a pretty decent job there. Now, coming into this game, we do also see that looking at this matchup, we do know that Indiana Fever, rebounds wise, Indiana Fever actually do rank very well, as they do actually rank number 1 when it comes to rebounds allowed. So that's definitely going to be a huge factor here. We definitely see someone like Azora Stevens going on the under due to that reason. They've not only done a fantastic job at restricting rebounds in general, but on top of that, the fact that Azora Stevens has also struggled from the actual rebounding line, we definitely see that being a big case there. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for this one. This one's just kind of a no-brainer to us. All signs really do point towards the under for this one. So for that reason, Azora Stevens, 7.5 rebounds for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Kayla Thornton. Now, Kayla Thornton, great player, as we all know, and this one is actually for points for 12.5 points, and this one is for less. Now, looking at Kayla Thornton, we have actually seen her go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. Looking at those 5 games, you see on June 20th, faced off against Indiana, actually had 16 points there. Then June 23rd, faced off against Connecticut, had 21 points in that matchup. Then June 26th, faced off against New York Liberty, where she had 11 points. Then Chicago faced off against them on June 28th, had 29 points in that matchup. After that, also faced off against Seattle on June 30th and had actually 2 points in that matchup. So it's definitely been, a bit of a struggle at times for Kayla Thornton. Other times she's definitely gone on the over, but her average over the last 5 is also 15.8. Now, looking at this matchup, we do know that Golden State Valkyries do have themselves a very, very tough matchup against Minnesota Lynx. Now, this is definitely going to be an exciting matchup because looking at both of these teams ranking-wise, starting off with Golden State Valkyries, we do know Golden State Valkyries have done a great job, throughout the regular season. But not only that, but we also do see that Golden State Valkyries do actually rank 6th when it comes to the WNBA. They actually rank 4th in the Western Conference as well, with a record of 9 wins and 7 losses. So they've definitely put on quite a show at times. They have a 56.3% win percentage. On top of that, they also have a record of 7-3 at home and 2-4 from away games. So it's definitely been interesting for someone like, or a team like Golden State Valkyries, as they have had a really good start to their regular season. Now, coming into their matchup, however, we do know they face off against Minnesota Lynx, as we mentioned. Now, Minnesota Lynx on the other side of the table have done a great job. Minnesota Lynx are currently ranked 1st in the WNBA with a record of 15 wins and 2 losses. So they've been absolutely fantastic. They have an 88.2% win percentage. So it's definitely been quite a show for them. And on top of that, they also are 9-0 from home and 6-2 from away. So when we look at both of these teams, we have seen Lynx have definitely been on a bit of a hot streak, but looking at actually, more in depth and looking at, the rebounds allowed, points allowed, and assist allowed. But this one, since we are focusing more on points because this is a points line, looking at Minnesota Lynx points wise, we do see that they rank 1st when it comes to points allowed. That's a big reason why we do very much like the under for this situation here. It really is just kind of a no-brainer to us. Kayla Thornton, although she is a great player, she does face off against a very tough defensive team in Minnesota Lynx, and we should definitely see her struggle in this one. Lynx have been a great team day in and day out, and there's a reason why they are the number 1 team, and that's due to their defense. And we have seen them do a fantastic job actually at restricting points, and also just to add some extra info, also rebounds and assists as well. But like I mentioned, this one is just strictly for points, so definitely keep an eye out for that. So keep an eye out for her line, especially when it comes to this, because I see a lot of value there to go on the under for this pick. And when you look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have her favored for the under as well. So definitely keep an eye out for this one. So Kayla Thornton, 12.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Aliyah Boston. So, Aliyah Boston, as we all know, fantastic player from none other than Indiana Fever. Now, this one's a fantastic one for actually 3.5 assists. This one's assist line for 3.5, and this one is for less. Now, looking at Aliyah Boston, we have seen her go on the under in 4 out of the last 5 games. Now, this one is an interesting one because we have seen her go on the under in 4 out of the last 5. June 25th, faced off against Seattle, actually had 3 assists there. Then June 27th, faced off against Los Angeles Sparks, had 1 assist. Then after that, 3 assists against Dallas on June 28th. Then faced off against Minnesota on July 2nd and had 6 assists in that matchup. Then 2 assists against the Las Vegas Aces on July 4th. So we have seen her go on the under quite consistently. She's gone on the under in 4 out of the last 5 games. On top of that, we also do see that her average over the last 5 is also 3, which is significantly below this line. Now, looking at this matchup and also more in depth, we do know Indiana face off against Los Angeles Sparks. Now, we have already touched on it, but just to remind you real quickly, again, Indiana Fever do have a record of 8 wins and 8 losses, 52.9% win percentage, and they find themselves in the 7th spot in the actual, WNBA and 3rd spot in the Eastern Conference. Now, on the other side, you see Los Angeles Sparks, who are in the Western Conference. They are last in the actual Western Conference, but do rank 12th when it comes to all 13 WNBA teams. Now, they have 5 wins and 13 losses there. Now, coming into this next matchup, the reason why we do like the under for this situation, now, starting off with Los Angeles Sparks, now we do see that Los Angeles Sparks do rank when it comes to assists allowed. They do actually rank 9th. So, they do rank a little bit, interesting when it comes to, they do rank a little bit on the lower side as a team. But when we look on a per position basis, we have actually seen that Los Angeles Sparks actually do a fantastic job at restricting assists to the forward and center position. So the big man position at that. And Aliyah Boston tends to play power forward, sometimes center, and Sparks have just done a fantastic job at restricting assists to the big, man or big woman position, I would say. And they do a great job at really restricting bigs there. And Aliyah Boston on top of that hasn't really had the greatest usage rate over the last couple of games as well. We are definitely taking that into consideration, as we have seen the way Aliyah Boston's usage rate has been out there. It's definitely been a bit on the lower side, as I do believe different strategies, different sort of outcomes are being made because of that. So for that reason, with all these things being, taken into consideration, we definitely do like the under for this situation here, as when we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also
this one is an interesting one because we have
so Aliyah Boston 3.5 assists for less, I think is a great pick.
So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible. Well, PrizePicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than Ari McDonald. Now, Ari McDonald, great player for none other than Indiana Fever. And she has done a fantastic job so far this season, because she's actually averaged 11.3 points, 2.5 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 1.3 steals. So she's definitely done a fantastic job there. Now, when we look at Ari McDonald and Indiana Fever, they do have themselves a very, very good matchup, as they do face off against none other than Los Angeles Sparks. So it's definitely going to be an exciting game between both of these teams. But looking at this matchup, we do know when we look at their rankings, starting off with Indiana Fever have actually gone up 1 spot. They are currently now in the 7th spot in the WNBA with 9 wins and 8 losses. So they have a 52.9% win percentage. They are 5 from 4 from home, and then 4 and 4 from away, which has been fantastic for them. And on top of that, they are currently on a 2-game win streak. So it's definitely been really, really good for them. Now, coming into this next matchup, we do know that, they face off, like I said, against Los Angeles Sparks. And Los Angeles Sparks haven't really had the greatest season so far. Now, the Los Angeles Sparks find themselves in a pretty poor position, as they do rank 12th in the WNBA with 5 wins and 13 losses. So it's definitely been a bit tough for them. Now, on top of that, they're also 1 from 7 from home, and then also 4 from 6 when it came to away games, and currently on a 2-game losing streak as well. So it's definitely been tough for, Los Angeles Sparks throughout the regular season. But coming into this next game, obviously they are going to try their best to win. But looking at Los Angeles Sparks, we are talking about Ari McDonald and her actual, line compared to the matchup that she does face off against. And looking at Sparks, we do know that Sparks do rank 11th in points allowed. They also rank 9th in assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed, they do rank 5th. So they rank a little bit better in that rebounding category. So when we look at Ari McDonald, we do actually like the over for this situation here, but strictly just for points and assists. Now, this definitely does work out in our favor, because Ari McDonald actually does have a better usage rate in the points and assist department. And for that reason, we do very much like the over for this situation here. Now, coming into this next game, it is rumored that Caitlin Clark may not play. Anything could really happen, but for right now, she isn't playing as well. And we definitely see that helping towards Ari McDonald's usage rate, because if she is out, then that usually does mean in that sense that, we could see Ari McDonald have an increase in her usage rate. But either way, we don't really see that being a major factor, in a sense that that's the reason why she's going on the over. We think since Los Angeles Sparks are a very poor team when it comes to, defending. We are expecting Ari McDonald to be able to take advantage of this. Ari has been playing great, and when you also look at the games that she does very, very well at, it's definitely, we have seen her take advantage of poor defending teams time and time again. So we are expecting that in this next game, especially with the extra usage rate that she probably will see. Now, when it comes to Ari, we have definitely seen her, do a little bit better as the season gone on. I think she is starting to get a little bit more into her actual rhythm, and her usage rate has been more consistent over the last 2 to 3 games. But looking at her last 5 games, we do see on the 11th faced off against Atlanta, had 77-58 loss against them, but she had 14 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists there. After that, we saw her face off against Los Angeles Sparks, which we mentioned, and she actually had 14 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist in that matchup with an 85-75 loss. After that, faced off against Dallas Wings on the 28th and had a 94-86 victory with 13 points, 2 rebounds, and 6 assists there. So we definitely have seen her, do a decent job in that matchup. Then facing off against Minnesota Lynx, where they faced off against a tough team and were able to actually win, because they won 74-59 with 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist there. After that, faced off against Las Vegas Aces, had an 81-54 victory with 8 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. So we definitely have seen Ari McDonald do a great job throughout the regular season. Now, coming back to that Los Angeles Sparks game, we did see her do very well in the points. She was able to beat her line in the sense that she did go over her averages. Assist, however, on the other side, she did only get 1 assist, but those things do happen. Coming into this next game, we are expecting big adjustments to be made, and we could see Ari McDonald do a little bit better in that assist and remain high on points. Now, obviously, like I said, we are focusing a little bit more on points and assists rather than rebounds, so that's why we aren't really worrying about that rebounding line. So definitely keep an eye out for Ari McDonald coming into this next matchup. I see a lot of value there for her to be able to go on the over in this situation. So as I mentioned, keep an eye out for the line, 4 points and assists strictly. If it is under our averages, then definitely look to go on the over. So getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about none other than Jessica Shepard. So as you all know, Jessica Shepard, great player for none other than Minnesota Lynx. And she has done a fantastic job so far this season, because we've actually seen her average 7.4 points, 6.9 rebounds, 2.3 assists, and 0.5 steals. So she's definitely done a fantastic job there. Now, looking at Jessica Shepard and Minnesota Lynx, they do have themselves a very good matchup against the Golden State Valkyries. Now, when we look at both of these teams, we do see NBA standing wise, we have seen Minnesota Lynx be on an absolute tear, because Minnesota Lynx currently have the first spot in the WNBA, also the first spot in the Western Conference, as they have 15 wins and 2 losses. So they have an 88.2% win percentage. So they've been playing absolutely fantastic. On top of that, they've also been 9-0 from home and 6-2 from away. Now, they are currently on a 3-game win streak as well, so Minnesota Lynx have been, just absolutely doing a very, very good job, and they face off against Golden State Valkyries. Now, Golden State Valkyries, bit of a different position. Golden State Valkyries do actually rank 6th in the WNBA, and on top of that, they also have a record of 9 wins and 7 losses. So they have a 56.3% win percentage. They are 7 from 4 from home and 2-4 from away. Now, they are currently on a 2-game win streak as well. So, Valkyries and also Lynx, both teams are definitely trying to keep their win streak alive. Now, looking at Golden State Valkyries and where they do rank defensively, we do know Valkyries rank 2nd when it comes to points allowed, 4th when it comes to assists allowed, and when it comes to rebounds allowed, they do rank 9th. So, when it comes to Jessica Shepard, we do actually like the under for this situation here, but strictly just for points and assists. Now, not only do Golden State Valkyries rank very, very well at restricting points and assists, but a big reason why is that Golden State Valkyries actually do a fantastic job at slowing down faster paced teams. Minnesota Lynx do like to play pretty fast, and in a sense that Golden State Valkyries do play a little bit slower, we are expecting Minnesota Lynx to come down pace-wise to actually Golden State Valkyries sort of pace, and slower pace for Minnesota means less volume, and less volume means less opportunity for Jessica Shepard. And the fact that, Jessica Shepard is obviously, not the highest, usage rate player in this Minnesota Lynx team, we are expecting a lot more of the usage rate to go to the other players, especially in a slow pace type game like this. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for this situation here. And we definitely see someone like Jessica Shepard going on the under, like I mentioned in the points and assists. But looking at her last 5 games, we definitely have seen some pretty interesting games. We do see on the 25th, faced off against Washington Mystics, actually had a 68-64 loss. Now, in that matchup, had 12 points, 15 rebounds, and 4 assists there. After that, faced off against Atlanta Dream with a 96-92 overtime victory with 2 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Then faced off against Connecticut with a 102-63 victory. And on the 30th as well, actually had 6 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist there. Then faced off against Indiana on the 2nd of this month and also had 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 0 assists. Then faced off against Mystics again with a 92-75 victory with 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist there. So it's definitely been interesting for Jessica Shepard. She's done really, really good in other games. Some games she hasn't done very well, and it's really dependent on who she does face off against defensively, because against tougher defensive teams, we definitely have seen her usage rate fall due to the fact that other bigger players in this Lynx team end up taking over and having a lot more of the usage rate out there. So for that reason, coming into this next one, we do very much like the under for this situation here for someone like Jessica Shepard. And with the way things have been going, for Jessica Shepard, especially in points and assists, we definitely are expecting the under for this one. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Emma Cannon. So Emma Cannon from Los Angeles Sparks has definitely done a fantastic job, throughout the regular season. Now, she's actually averaged 5.2 points, 2.1 rebounds, 0.4 assists, and 0.4 steals. So it's definitely been interesting there. Now, we have mentioned this before, but Los Angeles Sparks do face off against Indiana Fever, as we all know. And just to quickly reiterate where they do rank, Sparks rank 12th with a 5-13 record. Now, they currently in the last 10 games also are 3 from 7. So it's definitely been a bit of a struggle there. While Indiana Fever who they face off against, do rank 7th in the actual WNBA, but 3rd in the Eastern Conference. And they actually are 9 and 8th from the for their record, but they also are on the last 10, 6 and 4. So they have done a little bit better in these most recent 10 games when it comes to Fever. Now, coming into this next game, looking defensively, we do know that Indiana Fever actually rank 3rd when it comes to points allowed, 1st when it comes to assists allowed, and 1st when it comes to rebounds allowed. So, Indiana Fever are a fantastic team defensively, and because of that, we do very much like the under for this situation here. We definitely are expecting someone like Emma Cannon, unfortunately, who doesn't have the highest usage rate in this Los Angeles Sparks team. She may not get, a lot of the usage rate that she will probably be expecting. Now, Emma Cannon's usage rate and also her minutes out there on the floor has definitely been a bit interesting. Some games she does get plus 10 minutes, other games she's only getting a couple of minutes off the floor or at the end of each quarter. And that's why when it comes to Emma Cannon's kind of, I would say sort of usage rate out there or her minutes out there, it's definitely been a bit lower than we have expected, which is why we are also taking that into consideration and why we do like the, under for this one. Now, looking at her last 5 games, you see she faced off against Minnesota. Now, against that Minnesota Lynx team, 82-66 loss, had 3 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist there. Then she faced off against Chicago Sky, had a 97-86 loss with 5 points, 0 rebounds, and 0 assists there. After that, faced off against Indiana, 85-75, had a 2-point, 2 rebound, and also 0 assist game in that matchup. So she actually went under on all of those categories, went under in points, went under rebounds and assists. Then Chicago Sky faced off again, a 92-85 loss with 15 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist there. And against New York Liberty, had an 89-79 loss with 4 points, 1 rebound, and 0 assists there. So we definitely have seen Emma Cannon go on the under quite consistently. And looking back at that Indiana Fever game, we have seen her go on the under in all 3 of those categories against Indiana, and we are expecting a same matchup or the same thing happening coming into this next game. So for that reason, I do very much like the under for this situation here. We definitely do like the under due to the fact that Emma Cannon doesn't have the highest usage rate against a tough Indiana Fever team. So with all those things taken into consideration, keep an eye out for her. I see a lot of value there to go on the under, but as I always mention, keep an eye out for the line. If the line is too close to our averages, then definitely look to go on the under. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Temi Fagbenle. Now, when it comes to actually Temi, she is a great player for none other than Golden State Valkyries. Now, Temi has done a great job so far this season, averaging 9.7 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 1.9 assists, and also 1.4 steals. So she's definitely done a great job. Now, looking at this matchup, we do know Golden State Valkyries face off against Minnesota Lynx. Now, Minnesota Lynx as well, just to quickly reiterate, both of these teams, Valkyries rank 6th in the WNBA, but also rank 4th in the Western Conference with a record of 9 wins and 7 losses. But they are 7-3 from their last 10 games. So they have been on quite a bit of a roll over the last 10. Now, they face off against Minnesota Lynx, as we mentioned, and Minnesota Lynx are in the same conference. They are in the Western Conference, but they have the number 1 spot in the Western Conference. But not only that, but they have the number 1 spot in the WNBA. So 15 wins, 2 losses they have in the last 10 games are also 8-2. So they've been on an absolute tear lately. So when it comes to this next game, we do very, very much like, this game and where it may be heading, because it is definitely going to be an exciting one. But looking at Minnesota Lynx defensively, they are the number 1 team, and Minnesota Lynx do rank 1st in points allowed, 2nd in assists allowed, and when it comes to rebounds allowed, they only rank 7th. So, Minnesota Lynx are still a great defensive team, even though they are a little bit lower in rebounds. It's definitely very obvious that Minnesota Lynx, they are the number 1 team for a reason. Their defense is immaculate. And coming into this next game, unfortunately, we do see Temi going on the under here. Now, I would definitely focus a little bit more on points and assists for sure, but I think all 3 categories, she definitely has the capability to go on the under. And a big reason for that is that Minnesota Lynx actually do a fantastic job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the actual center position. So for that reason, we are definitely expecting the under for someone like Temi coming into this game. Now, looking at her last 5 games, we've seen her face off last month against Phoenix on an 86-77 loss. She actually had 12 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals there. Then faced off against the Las Vegas Aces and actually had a 95-68 victory with 7 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist in that matchup. Then faced off against the LA Sparks with an 89-81 OT victory there with 14 points, 13 rebounds, and 1 assist in that matchup. Then faced off against Seattle on back-to-backs. First game was 76-70 win on 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. Then on the 30th, faced off against Seattle, had an 84-57 victory with 4 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists there. So we definitely have seen Temi do a great job, in some of those games. Other games has definitely struggled, and that's why coming into this next matchup, we do very much like the under for this one. So keep an eye out for Temi. We see a lot of value there to go on the under. I think in all 3 categories is definitely possible. So Temi Fagbenle, definitely keep an eye out for a line. If the line is too close to her averages, then definitely look to go on the under.